My friends, have you ever woken up in the morning, looked at yourself in the mirror and wondered, why do my once strong hands feel weaker now? Why does climbing the stairs feel harder than it used to? I've heard questions like these for over 30 years in medicine, and I understand that feeling isn't just about health, but about losing a part of yourself that once made you feel alive. I remember a patient named Robert, 68 years old. He used to be a construction engineer, strong, capable, used to hard work. After retiring, he moved less, sat more, and his meals became irregular. One day he came to see me and said with a faint smile, "Doctor, I still drink coffee every morning like I always did, but now my hands shake just holding the cup." That sentence stayed with me for a long time. Because I knew what he had lost wasn't just muscle, it was confidence, independence, and a sense of control over his own body. Many people believe that as we age, losing muscle strength is inevitable. But science says otherwise. The human body can rebuild itself at any age if you know how to awaken it. Muscles are the engine of life. They help us stand tall, walk, hug our loved ones, and feel alive each day. When your muscles are strong, your heart is stronger. When your muscles are strong, your mind is sharper because muscles drive circulation and energy throughout the body. I've seen people in their 70s walking every morning, posture, straight eyes bright. And I've seen others only in their mid-50s already tired, aching, and restless. The difference isn't age, it's how they treat their body each day. After 50, muscles begin to shrink, a process doctors call sarcopenia. You don't notice it at first. It starts with feeling heavy when you stand moving slower up the stairs and realizing your arms no longer feel as strong. Each year, the body can lose 1 to 2% of its muscle mass if not cared for properly. The cause isn't just time. It's less movement, poor sleep, ongoing stress, and diets lacking protein and key minerals like magnesium and zinc. When your muscles aren't activated, those cells fall asleep. And once they've slept too long, waking them up becomes much harder. Think of your body as a garden. If you ignore it, weeds grow, the soil dries, and flowers fade. But if you water it, give it sunlight, and feed it, the garden comes alive again. Your muscles are the same. They're waiting for you to nourish and awaken them. And sometimes that awakening begins with something as small as a cup of coffee. It may sound surprising, but coffee, the drink you start your morning with, can actually help awaken your body. It can reduce muscle soreness, boost alertness, and support recovery. Not because it's a miracle drink, but because coffee contains natural compounds that improve circulation and enhance nutrient absorption. But like everything in life, when used the wrong way, what helps can also harm. That's why today I want to take you on a journey to understand 3 things. The true role of muscle in aging, why muscles weaken after 50, and most importantly, how to use coffee the right way to reawaken your inner strength. Have you ever thought that maybe just a few small changes, a protein-rich meal, a cup of coffee at the right time, and a few minutes of gentle movement could give you back the energy you thought you'd lost? If you've ever felt tired, weaker, or not like before, then this message is for you. Today, I'm Dr. Mark, and I'll walk with you on a journey to rediscover strength, confidence, and vitality. With a simple ally you meet every morning, your cup of coffee. My friends, Wusser Wunmum. When I talk about muscles, people often smile and say, "Doctor, I'm not an athlete. At my age, I'm just happy to move around." And I always reply, no, muscles aren't just for the young. They're your lifelong companions, especially after 50. Muscles are like a quiet fire burning within you. When you were young, that fire burned bright, helping you work, play, raise children, and build your life. But over time, as you move less, that fire dims. Until one day you find yourself needing support to stand pausing halfway up the stairs or feeling unsteady on your feet. Most people don't realize muscles aren't just for movement. They're the foundation of health. Let me tell you about Margaret, 72 years old. She once slipped and fell while cleaning her home. After that fall, she spent nearly 3 weeks in the hospital and 6 months learning to walk again. When I visited, she said softly, "Doctor, I'm not afraid of falling. I'm afraid of not being able to stand back up." What she feared wasn't pain, it was losing independence. When your muscles weaken, everything around you changes. You depend on others more. You avoid going out, avoid moving too much. And slowly your spirit weakens with your body. Muscles aren't just physical strength, they're emotional energy. When your body feels strong, you feel alive, capable, and free. You can carry groceries, hold your grandchild, work in your garden, or cook your favorite meal. That's freedom, the freedom to move, to live, to be yourself. Older adults don't need muscles to lift heavy weights. You need muscles to lift your life. From a medical view, muscles are the body's largest metabolic organ. When you eat, most of your energy isn't used by your brain or heart. It's processed by your muscles. Muscles regulate blood sugar, burn fat, and balance hormones. People with more muscle tend to have lower risks of diabetes, heart disease, obesity, and even depression. Research shows that for every kilogram of muscle you lose, your metabolism slows by about 3–5%. That means even if you eat the same way, your body uses energy less efficiently, leading to fatigue, fat storage, and poor sleep. Muscles are also your energy bank during illness. When your body needs to heal, it draws amino acids from muscle to repair tissues. If your muscle reserves are low, recovery is slow. That's why older adults with low muscle mass struggle to regain strength after injury or illness. I often tell my patients, your muscles are your shield against aging, a shield that not only protects your body from disease, but also keeps your spirit strong. I remember George, 75 years old, walking slowly through the park each morning. His steps weren't fast, but they were steady and full of pride. He told me once, "Soreness and awaken. Doctor, I don't exercise to be young again. I exercise so I can live on my own." That to me is the truest definition of strength, because muscles represent independence, resilience, and self-respect. If you've ever thought it's too late at 60 or 70 to do something for your body, erase that thought today. The human body has an extraordinary memory. Even after 10 years of inactivity, if you start again, it remembers how to grow strong. Muscles are like old friends, call them and they will answer. And the most beautiful part, when you start caring for your body, your spirit heals too. You feel lighter, happier, and more alive, not because of your age, but because your energy has returned. So if you're listening now, I want you to remember this. Muscles are the foundation of longevity and the flame of youth within you. Don't let that flame go out because you think it's too late. Give it a chance to live again, one small step at a time. Start simple. Stand up, stretch your arms, breathe deeply, and feel the life flowing through every fiber of your being. Because when your body moves, life moves with it. My friends, if muscle is the flame of life, then after 50, many of us start to feel that flame dim. We move slower, sit longer, and even lifting a small bag can make our arms ache. And we comfort ourselves saying, "Doctor, it's just age." But the truth is different. Age is only the spark, not the cause. What really makes your muscles shrink isn't age. It's that you've stopped talking to your body. I remember Thomas, 63 years old, came to see me once. He said, "Doctor, I still eat fine, still work in my garden, but lately I feel weak, my hands shake when I hold something heavy." When I checked, his muscle mass had dropped nearly 15% compared to 5 years earlier. No disease, no major illness, just silence. The silence of muscles that haven't been used. Muscles are among the most loyal organs in your body. If you treat them well, move, eat right, sleep deeply, they respond with strength and vitality. But if you neglect them, they slowly fall asleep. And once they've slept too long, waking them up becomes harder. Biologically, after 50, a process called sarcopenia, the natural loss of muscle begins to accelerate. Every year you can lose 1 to 2% of your muscle mass. After 60, that pace quickens. It happens because of hormonal changes. Your body produces less growth hormone and testosterone, two key players that build and maintain muscle. With fewer of these hormones, your body struggles to make new protein and recover after exercise. Meanwhile, muscle cells become resistant to growth signals, something scientists call anabolic resistance. It means that even when you eat enough protein, your body doesn't hear the message to build muscle. It's like a rusty door. No matter how hard you knock, it won't open. Another subtle cause is our modern lifestyle. We live in an age of comfort, elevators, cars, remote controls. Our bodies no longer work the way they used to. The small stabilizing muscles in your shoulders, back, and legs start to grow lazy. And when you don't use them, your body decides, "I guess we don't need these anymore." So they quietly fade little by little, day by day. But muscle loss doesn't start in the body, it starts in the mind. I've met so many people in their 50s and 60s who say, "I'm too old to work out now." That sentence is poison. When your mind believes you're weak, your body listens. Neuroscience proves it. The way you think directly affects how your cells behave. If you believe you're weak, your muscles will act accordingly. But if you believe you can grow stronger, your brain sends signals that activate muscle repair and growth. Nutrition also plays a huge role. As we age, our ability to absorb protein and minerals declines. Even if we eat the same, our body doesn't use it as efficiently. Deficiencies in magnesium, zinc, vitamin D, and omega-3 slow muscle recovery and regeneration. When those building materials run low, rebuilding muscle becomes difficult. And then there's sleep. Muscles don't grow while you're training. They grow when you rest. During deep sleep, your body releases hormones that repair and rebuild tissue. But many older adults sleep lightly, waking up often, giving their body no chance to recover. Each night of poor sleep takes a little more strength away. I often compare the human body to an orchestra. When you're young, every instrument, hormones, muscles, nerves, sleep plays in perfect harmony. But as time goes on, if you don't tune them, some fall out of rhythm. The music still plays, but it's not the same. Our goal at 50, 60, or 70 isn't to sound young again. It's to bring the orchestra back into tune. So please don't fear the word aging. Aging isn't loss, it's a change of rhythm. You can't reverse time, but you can slow it down. Every step you take, every balanced meal, every night of deep sleep is your way of telling your body, I'm still here, I still want to live strong. And when you do that, your muscles listen. They wake up quietly, steadily, faithfully. Your body hasn't abandoned you, it's waiting for you to return. And when you do, you'll realize, strength never left me, it was just waiting for me to call its name. Sometimes that awakening begins with something as simple as a morning cup of coffee. My friends, after many years in practice, I've noticed something fascinating. When it comes to coffee, people fall into two camps. One says, doctor, I can't live without my morning coffee. The other says, I heard coffee's bad for you. It causes insomnia and heart problems, I should quit. So, who's right? Is coffee a friend or foe to your muscles and your midlife health? The truth is, it can be both. Like a good friend, if you treat it wisely, it lifts you up. If you abuse it, it can drag you down. Let me tell you about David, 61 years old, one of my most memorable patients. He suffered from chronic muscle aches, fatigue, and back pain. When I asked about his routine, he said, I've been drinking coffee since I was 20. 2 strong cups every morning, can't function without it. I didn't tell him to quit coffee. Instead, I showed him how to make peace with it, how to drink it at the right time, the right way. 3 months later, he returned smiling brightly. Doctor, I feel better, I sleep better, my workouts are stronger. It wasn't the coffee that changed him. It was how he listened to his body. Modern science confirms this. Coffee contains caffeine and hundreds of powerful antioxidants, polyphenols, caffeic acid, chlorogenic acid. They not only keep you alert, but they also protect muscle cells from inflammation and oxidative stress, 2 major causes of aging. Caffeine stimulates the nervous system, boosting adrenaline, the hormone that increases endurance, reduces fatigue, and helps you train longer without exhaustion. That's why even athletes in their 50s and 60s often drink a small cup before exercise, not to wake up, but to awaken their strength. Few people know this. Coffee can also enhance recovery after exercise. When combined with carbohydrates like milk, oats, or banana, caffeine helps muscles replenish glycogen, the main source of energy, twice as fast. That's critical for older adults whose recovery slows with age. A properly timed cup of coffee can reduce soreness, improve recovery, and help you regain strength faster. But there's always a but. Too much coffee can cause insomnia, rapid heartbeat anxiety, or reduce iron and magnesium absorption. I've heard many people say, I drink coffee in the morning, but still can't sleep at night. That's because caffeine can stay in your system for up to 8 hours and even longer in older adults. So here's my rule. Don't give up coffee, use it wisely. If you want to enjoy its benefits, drink it in the morning, at least 6 hours before bedtime. Don't drink it on an empty stomach. Caffeine can irritate your stomach. Drink less, but regularly. 1 small cup, about 4 or 5 ounces, is enough. And if you enjoy gentle exercise like walking, yoga, or stretching, try drinking your coffee 30-45 minutes before your session. You'll feel more alert, flexible, and focused. Avoid too much sugar or condensed milk. They cancel out the natural benefits. If you prefer a softer taste, add a little low-fat or plant-based milk, good for your heart and easy on digestion. I remember Linda, 70 years old, once asked me, Doctor, should I quit coffee? My daughter says it's bad for older people. I smiled and said, you don't need to quit. Just let coffee be a joy, not a burden. And I added, if you drink your coffee with joy, soft music, and morning light, that cup won't just nourish your body, but your soul. A month later, she came back glowing. She said, now every morning I stretch for 15 minutes, then reward myself with a small cup of coffee. I feel alive again. Coffee, after all, isn't a miracle cure. It's a quiet companion of age. A small reminder that your body is still alive, still strong, still ready to move. So tomorrow morning when you hold that cup, don't just drink it out of habit. Drink it as a greeting to your body. Good morning, my muscles. Today we live strong again. In the next part, I'll share the fascinating science behind how coffee interacts with your hormones, energy, and muscle cells, so that every cup you drink becomes not just a routine, but a ritual of renewal. My friends, I believe that behind every miracle of the human body, there is always a scientific reason, and coffee is no exception. When I tell people that a cup of coffee can help restore muscle, many are surprised. Coffee doctor, I thought it just helps you stay awake. But within every drop of coffee lies a microscopic world working quietly for your health. Imagine your body as a city of energy and your muscles as power plants producing strength. Every time you move, exercise, or simply walk, millions of muscle cells are at work consuming energy and creating endurance. When fatigue sets in, those power plants slow down and need refueling. And coffee, when used correctly, is like a gentle wind, turning the turbines again, helping them spin faster, stronger, and longer. The first mechanism lies in caffeine, the main active compound in coffee. Caffeine stimulates the central nervous system, boosting adrenaline, the fight-or-flight hormone. When adrenaline rises, your heart pumps stronger, blood flow to muscles increases, and your cells receive more oxygen and nutrients. As a result, you can move harder, longer, and with less fatigue. But caffeine isn't just a stimulant. It also works at the cellular level, specifically with mitochondria, the energy factories inside each muscle cell. Studies show caffeine helps mitochondria function more efficiently, enhancing ATP production, the energy your muscles need to contract and move. Simply put, coffee helps your muscles recharge faster. The second mechanism, lesser known, is coffee's anti-inflammatory and antioxidant power. Coffee contains hundreds of natural compounds called polyphenols, especially chlorogenic and caffeic acids. These substances neutralize free radicals, harmful molecules that damage muscle cells and accelerate aging. I once explained it to a patient like this. Imagine your body as a garden. Each day, sunlight and dust make the leaves fade. That's oxidation. The polyphenols in coffee are like soft rain, washing away the dust and helping your garden come alive again. Thanks to this, studies show that older adults who drink coffee regularly 1-2 cups per day have stronger muscle mass and a 30% lower risk of sarcopenia, muscle loss with age. The third mechanism, coffee speeds up recovery after exercise. When you move, your muscles burn glycogen, their main energy reserve. After a workout, muscles need time to replenish that glycogen. Studies from Australia and Japan found that drinking coffee with carbohydrates like bananas, milk, or oats doubles the rate of glycogen recovery compared to those who don't drink coffee. Why? Because caffeine increases insulin sensitivity, the hormone that helps glucose enter muscle cells. In other words, coffee opens the door for energy to enter the muscles faster, helping you recover strength sooner. The fourth mechanism, coffee reduces post-exercise muscle pain and soreness. Caffeine works as a natural pain reliever by blocking adenosine receptors in the brain, the same receptors responsible for the feeling of pain after exercise. This is especially valuable for older adults. Even a 20–30% reduction in soreness can mean the difference between continuing to exercise daily and giving up due to pain. I remember telling Margaret, a 70-year-old woman who was afraid to move because of joint pain, if you drink a small cup of coffee about 30 minutes before exercise, your body will feel lubricated, smoother, easier. And a few weeks later, she said, "Doctor, I can finally move more. The pain isn't as bad anymore." Who knew coffee could help like that? And finally, a fascinating discovery from recent research. Coffee activates autophagy, the body's self-cleaning process. During autophagy, the body removes old or damaged cells and replaces them with new healthy ones. In other words, coffee doesn't just help your muscles work better, it helps your body renew itself from within. So when you drink your morning coffee, don't see it as a meaningless habit. See it as a gentle gift to your body, a small encouragement to your cells to keep working, keep living. You don't need much, you don't need it strong. Just the right moment, the right dose, and the right mindset. True health doesn't come from grand actions. It comes from simple habits repeated with love each day. Like a small cup of coffee and a big belief that I can still be stronger than yesterday. In the next part, I'll share how to use coffee properly for muscle health, when to drink it, how much is safe, and how to make it your best ally after 50. My friends, once we understand how coffee can support muscle recovery, the next question is usually, so doctor, how should I drink it for the best results? I get that question almost every day from patients, friends, even fellow doctors. Because a cup of coffee can be medicine or poison, depending on how you use it. I remember Helen, 65 years old. She told me, I heard coffee is good for the heart, so I drink 3 cups a day. But soon she complained of insomnia, shaky hands, and a racing heart at night. I asked her to cut it down to 1 small cup in the morning, add a bit of milk, and drink water alongside. A week later, her symptoms disappeared. She said, "Doctor, I feel energized all day, and I sleep better now." I smiled because that's exactly what I want for you. Don't quit coffee, just learn to befriend it again. 1. When to drink coffee. Timing is key. Morning about 30 minutes after breakfast is the best time. At that moment, your cortisol, your natural wake-up hormone, is already high. Coffee then enhances energy gently without shocking your system. If you exercise in the morning, drink your coffee 30-45 minutes before the workout. That's when caffeine improves circulation, reduces fatigue, and boosts performance. Avoid coffee after 2 p.m., especially after 50. Caffeine can stay in your body for 6 to 8 hours, disrupting sleep, and poor sleep is the enemy of strong muscles. 2. How to drink it properly. Coffee isn't just a drink, it's a ritual. Slow down. Don't rush. Don't drink while stressed or on an empty stomach. Coffee on an empty stomach increases acid and can cause discomfort. Eat something light, whole grain bread, a banana, or Greek yogurt. It protects your stomach and allows steady caffeine absorption. And always drink a glass of water with your coffee. Caffeine is mildly diuretic. Without enough water, muscles may cramp or tighten. As I often say, coffee wakes you up, but water keeps you moving. 3. How much is enough? For most adults, up to 300 milligrams of caffeine a day, about 2 small cups, 5 ounces each, is safe. For people over 60, 1 small cup in the morning is ideal. If you're sensitive to caffeine, anxious, or sleepless, try light roast or decaf. If you're active and healthy, a medium roast is fine. Just go easy on sugar and condensed milk. Most importantly, listen to your body. If your heart races or you feel uneasy, stop. Let coffee be your natural energy, not your forced fuel. 4. What to pair with coffee. Here's a little secret pairing: coffee with protein and light carbs improves muscle recovery. Examples: coffee plus low-fat milk adds protein and calcium. Coffee with banana or oats refuels muscles faster. Coffee plus almonds or chia seeds adds magnesium and omega-3 for anti-inflammatory benefits. These small combos turn your morning coffee into a perfect recovery breakfast. 5. Then when to be cautious. Be mindful if you have hypertension, high blood pressure, irregular heartbeat, anxiety, or chronic insomnia. Try decaf or green tea instead. Iron, calcium, or magnesium supplements, don't take them with coffee. Space them at least 2 hours apart. Stomach ulcers, add milk or honey to reduce acid irritation. Remember, coffee should be a ritual, not an addiction. A ritual that reminds you to stay awake, stay joyful, and stay alive. I start my mornings with a soft jazz tune, sunlight through the clinic window, and a gentle cup of coffee. As the aroma fills the air, I feel my body waking, my mind relaxing, and my heart ready for the day. That's not just caffeine, that's harmony between body and soul. So make your coffee a moment of care. A small cup, slow warm, a little protein, a little sunlight, and a quiet belief that I am taking care of myself one day, one sip at a time. In the next part, we'll explore when coffee becomes a double-edged sword and how to recognize that line. Because knowing when to stop is also a form of wisdom and health. My friends, when we talk about coffee, everyone seems to have a memory attached to it. For some, it's the familiar aroma that greets them each morning. For others, it's the quiet moment by the window, sunlight slipping through a steaming cup. For me, coffee is a symbol of awareness, a reminder to slow down, breathe, and reconnect with our bodies. But like every good friend in life, even coffee needs healthy boundaries. Used wisely, it's medicine. Used carelessly, it becomes a double-edged sword. I remember Michael, 67 years old, who came to see me feeling anxious, his heart racing, unable to sleep. When I asked about his habits, he smiled and said, "I don't drink alcohol or smoke, doctor, just coffee, about 4 cups a day." I smiled back, "Michael, it's your coffee that's making your heart work overtime." He looked surprised, but I've been drinking it for years and felt fine. And I told him, when we're young, our bodies can handle a lot. But after 50, our organs, the heart, liver, kidney, stomach, all become less resilient. What was fine 10 years ago might now be too much. Coffee by nature is a stimulant for the central nervous system. It sharpens focus, lifts energy, but it also raises heart rate and blood pressure. For healthy people, that's just a small boost. But for those with high blood pressure, heart issues, or irregular heartbeat, it can be unnecessary strain. I often describe it this way. For the young, coffee is like a lively jazz tune. But for an aging heart, it can feel like a concert that's just too loud. If you ever feel your heart racing, palms sweating, or hands trembling after coffee, that's your body whispering, that's enough. No need to panic, just ease back, a smaller cup, lighter brew, slower pace. Coffee can also quietly disturb your sleep, something many don't realize. In people over 60, the body takes nearly twice as long to process caffeine as it did in youth. That means if you drink a cup at 3 p.m., by 10 p.m., half the caffeine is still in your blood. And even if you're tired, you won't reach deep sleep. One restless night doesn't just make you tired, it weakens your body's recovery system. During deep sleep, your body releases growth hormone, the key to muscle repair. So losing sleep to coffee doesn't just drain your energy, it slows your body's ability to heal. Another overlooked effect is mineral absorption. Coffee contains tannins and polyphenols that bind with iron, zinc, calcium, and magnesium, blocking their absorption. If you struggle with anemia, bone loss, or muscle cramps, pay attention to this. I always tell my patients, don't drink coffee with your meal or supplements. Wait at least 2 hours. A small change, but it can double how well your body absorbs nutrients. Then there's the stomach. Coffee stimulates acid production, great for digestion in moderation, but harmful if you have ulcers or acid reflux. I once had a patient laugh and say, I only drink coffee on an empty stomach, it wakes me up. And I replied, coffee isn't the problem, it's your stomach that shouldn't be forgotten. If you must drink it, add a splash of milk or honey or have it after a light meal. Your body will thank you for it. And finally, mental health. In moderation, coffee can lift your mood, focus, and motivation. But too much can lead to anxiety, restlessness, and irritability, especially if your mind is already stressed. I often remind my patients, if your mind is tired, don't wake it with caffeine, wake it with rest, breath, and silence. Sometimes what your body needs isn't caffeine, it's calm. Coffee isn't the enemy. It only becomes one when we stop listening to our bodies. Each of us has a personal limit. Some can drink 2 cups and sleep fine. Others lose sleep from just one. There's no universal rule, only your body's wisdom. And that's what I want you to remember. Listening to your body is the best medicine, no prescription needed. So if one day you feel your heart racing, sleep restless, or your stomach uneasy, take it as your body's gentle whisper saying, slow down. Reducing coffee doesn't mean giving up joy. You can switch to decaf or light green tea, still warm, fragrant, and grounding. Because what matters most isn't what you drink, but how you drink it. In our next part, we'll explore positive mind, strong body, the power within. Because just like coffee, your mind can be a powerful source of energy and healing after 50. My friends, we've talked about muscles, hormones, nutrition, and even coffee, all things that belong to the body. But today I want to talk about something invisible, yet just as powerful, the spirit. After more than 30 years as a doctor, I've learned something simple but profound. The greatest difference between those who recover and those who don't isn't always medicine or diet. It's belief. I remember George, 73 years old, who suffered chronic back pain for years. He tried everything, medication, therapy, massage, but nothing worked. Each time he came in, he sighed. Doctor, I'm old. I don't think I'll ever get better. When I looked into his eyes, I didn't see pain. I saw loss of hope. So I told him, George, if you tell your body every day that it's done fighting, why would it keep fighting for you? That day, I gave him one small challenge. Every morning before you get out of bed, say this. My body still has strength. Today, I'll be a little better. He laughed, Doctor, that sounds too simple. I said yes, but that's where the power lies. 3 months later, he returned smiling. His pain had eased not because of new medication, but because he believed again. Belief doesn't replace medicine, but it multiplies its power. Science now supports what we've long sensed in our hearts. Optimistic people have lower cortisol, stronger immune systems, and faster cellular recovery. Positive thinking literally changes your biology. It's called psychoneuroimmunology, the link between mind, nerves, and immunity. But I call it something simpler, the hope effect. Imagine your body as a garden. If you plant seeds of faith and gratitude, it blooms. But if you plant fear, doubt, or resentment, no matter how fertile the soil, nothing grows. I once treated Clara, a 70-year-old woman with bone cancer. She came to every session smiling. Doctor, she'd say, I don't know how long I'll live, but today I feel good. And that's enough. She said that every visit for nearly 2 years. She's gone now, but I still remember the light in her eyes. The light of acceptance, trust, and peace. I share her story because so many believe strength comes only from the gym or protein. But real strength begins in the mind. If your heart carries fear, guilt, or exhaustion, your body tightens, closes off, and weakens. But if you start each day believing I still matter, I can still grow. Every cell in your body will listen. It will respond with energy, vitality, and life. That's not magic. That's how faith works inside the body. There are mornings when I arrive at my clinic early. The sun barely up, silence in the air, and the faint smell of coffee drifting through the room. I close my eyes, take a deep breath, and say to myself, today I'll help at least one person find hope again. That thought gives me strength for the whole day. And I realize that feeling is its own kind of caffeine for the soul. Muscles need nutrients for energy, but the mind needs gratitude and faith. Both nourish each other. A positive spirit moves the body. A strong body strengthens the mind. That's the circle of healing I want for you. So right now, if you're listening, pause for a moment, breathe, and whisper quietly. I still have strength. My body is listening. And I will live with gratitude today. Just 3 sentences, but if you say them every morning, you'll feel the change. Not because of magic, but because you chose to see life through healing eyes. And that's what I want to leave you with today. Health doesn't begin with medicine or food or even coffee. It begins with how you see your life. If you believe you can get better, you're already halfway there. The other half, your body and I will walk with you. Let's take this moment to close our journey. A journey from the body to the mind to the strength that still lives in your heart. This is my final message to you. For choosing to live well, stay positive, and keep hope alive. My friends, if you've stayed with me this far, I want to say this from the heart. Thank you. Thank you for taking the time to listen, to reflect, and most importantly, to believe that you deserve to be healthy. We've walked quite a journey together. From understanding the role of muscle, to learning why the body weakens after 50, to discovering how a simple cup of coffee can help awaken the strength that's been asleep inside you. And in the last part, we realized something deeper. True strength doesn't start in the body, it begins in the mind. Today, I want to close this journey with a real story. Years ago, I had a patient named Anna, 69 years old. She came to me exhausted, suffering from insomnia, joint pain, loss of appetite, and mild depression after her husband passed away. She said, "Doctor, I don't see any purpose anymore. I don't feel like myself." I didn't give her medicine right away. I simply asked Anna, "Do you still like coffee?" She looked surprised. "I do," but I stopped. "I don't see a reason to make it anymore." And I said, "Then start there. Tomorrow, just make 1 cup again, not for anyone else, but for you." A week later, she came back smiling, holding a small cup of coffee. She said, "This morning I heard the sound of boiling water, smelled the aroma, and suddenly I felt alive again. I felt like I was still here." I never forgot those words. Because sometimes strength doesn't come from big changes. It comes from one small act that reminds you you're still here. Maybe you're a little like Anna. Maybe you felt tired, slower, or even powerless against time. But I want you to know, aging is not an ending. It's an invitation. An invitation to slow down, to be more mindful, and to love your body more deeply. Age 50, 60, or 70 isn't the time to lose yourself. It's the time to rediscover who you are. Your body, no matter how many years it's lived, is still listening to every choice you make. Each gentle step, every nourishing meal, every deep breath, every warm cup of coffee, they're all ways of saying, "I'm still here. I still want to live better." I want you to remember this. It's never too late to begin again. Whether you're 55, 65, or 75, your body still holds a remarkable power to heal. Science calls it muscle memory. I call it something simpler: hope. Your body hasn't forgotten you. It's been waiting for you to return to, care to love it again. And when you do, miracles begin to happen. I know life can make us busy, stressed, and tired. We forget the little things: a full night's sleep, a truly satisfying meal, or the stillness of morning air. But those little things, repeated daily, are the true foundation of health. Because health isn't the absence of illness. It's the feeling of being fully alive in your own body with gratitude. So before you go, I want to invite you to do something small. Tomorrow morning, step outside, take a deep breath of fresh air. And if you can make yourself a warm cup of coffee, sit down, slow down, and whisper softly, "I thank my body. I thank this life. I am strong, I am alive, and I still have time to be better." Just one small act. But if you repeat it every day, I believe health, peace, and confidence will return to you quietly, gently. Like the aroma of coffee spreading through a calm morning. Before we end, let me leave you with this thought. Muscles don't disappear because of age. The spirit doesn't weaken because of time. They only need you to remember how to love yourself again. If you're hearing me right now, please start today. With 1 cup of coffee, 1 smile, and 1 promise to yourself: I will not give up on me. If this video touched your heart, share it with someone you love. Someone who might need a little faith, a little motivation, and a gentle reminder that it's never too late to start again. Thank you for walking this journey with me. I'm Dr. Mark, and I wish you this. May every morning bring you 1 more reason to smile. Health Life Lens, where we learn to see health not only with our eyes, but with our hearts.